Is this just fantasy? Indeed so. This is Kaya by Wes Craig with Wordie and Andworld. So this is a current comic, a modern comic that I think is one of the best fantasy comics on the stands and that is currently running. And the second volume of Kaya is just now been made available. And really cool is if you go on Instagram, Wes Craig has created like a special Instagram account where he is uh, putting out, I guess, in a post or so a day, the entirety of the first volume of Kaya, which that is like six, 4 or 6 issues of comics. That is really quite generous of him, but it's also an interesting way of experiencing the book. But only recently became aware of Kaya, and it was thanks to somebody at the local comic shop who recommended it to me, and I picked it up, and I haven't looked back. And so I have here like the first issue, and I really love just the format of the cover. I love that we have this our central characters here, and it fills me with curiosity. I love the design of it, and I love the art style. It's very unique, or it's distinguished. And I also love that down here we have like what issue it is, and also the kind of premise of this issue. And it's, after their village is destroyed, a young girl with a magic arm and a fighting spirit is tasked with delivering her little brother to a faraway safe harbor. There, he is destined to discover the secret to overthrowing the all powerful empire that destroyed their home. Pretty classic fantasy stuff. And something that the person who recommended this to me said was that the covers don't necessarily betray or portray the kind of art you can expect inside. And I both agree and disagree. I feel like this is a great encapsulation of Wes Craig's work. And in fact, I feel like I really appreciate that as far as like the quality of the line work and the color and everything, it definitely demonstrates what you can expect quality wise on the inside, but there's also so much more. So I want to get into it. So this is Kaya issue 1. So right away we have this amazing like splash page that goes across here, this double page spread that also has other panels. But the main thing that I really like about it is just that like we're starting the story as it's happening. We don't get a flashback to what has got them here. The text on the front pretty well covered that. And I imagine in the future we'll see what happened, flashbacks, memories, what have you. I love these colors. I love the like painted quality of it. Really great lettering. I mean, I love how what extends past the word balloon here. And it's just, and I love, of course, these little simplified versions of the figure. We truly get that we're in this like sandstorm. And I love the character design. We'll get more into that. But and also it's an interesting world. It's somewhat, it feels kind of like post-apocalyptic in some ways because there's a lot of like fallen structures. I love this giant head here that we can see another angle of, and really, it's not easy drawing the same thing at different angles and have it feel like it's the same thing. But really well done here, and the lettering in particular is just very expressive, and yet it's an invisible art where it's like I'm noticing it because I do it, but it also just reads effortlessly, and he's not overly wordy, and he is not overly there's not like shit ton of captions everywhere, and we're getting really good sense of character, them like fighting back and forth, and the big kind of linchpin is that he's very hungry, and they haven't eaten much, and he wants her to hawk her knife when available, so that they could buy some food, and she wants to get rid of these scrolls that he's carrying. But the scrolls are the last link to their history. It is the list of kings in their culture, and this is, the human culture, which that's what they are. They're humans. Is on the down end of the various cultures that exist, and peoples that live in this world. And we're about to come across some characters that I'm very excited are included. And I love this great transition here, of them looking off, because they're meant to go to a meeting place, or a place where they might be able to buy stuff, but it's abandoned. Yeah, and there's this idea that this empire has demolished the world as they knew it, not just their own village, but just it's ruined a lot of things, and everybody who's existing outside of it is existing in the margins, and existing on low rations, and low options. Yeah, really awesome character designs, and just a really interesting character design. I love, this kind of black line across her eyes, and it's not clear if it's like tattoos or face paint or what, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a great design element. And I like his you got this little dot over his eye. It's just great cartooning. It's as someone who draws, I just love this, just because there's just so much to look at. Like, I love the miniaturization of this town right here. And the fade, like, over the this giant head here. I don't know. It just feels very painterly, very just beautiful, and like a real human being is making it, and I just really love that about her. But yeah, he is, and Jin is kind of a little shit, honestly, and he's just making things harder uh, for poor Kaya. And he's hungry, and he won't let it go, and he's just blaming her for everything. And I love, like, the trans, like, I think he's using like a blue. I think I've looked at some of his process pages, and he's using kind of like a single blue color for all of, like, the shadow work, and he'll throw that in first, and then he throws in other colors. I just love, that blue going in there. That makes it this kind of green color. It's really nice. I also love hungry. Yeah, really great. Just really great. Really expressive. Really expressive. Look at this. Thump. She's being, but yeah, he thinks he's being dramatic, but then she's like, oh shit, is he in trouble? But then she gets alerted, and I love this, that we get this, she's looking at him, but then we get this turn, and we know she's turning because we see him in the foreground, or in the background here. And we have some lizard riders, or lizard men riding lizards, coming their way. And I love just the casual inclusion of lizard people in this. As someone who created a comic that prominently features a lizard man, I am a big fan of it, and they go on to be very prominent characters. But yeah, so she's trying to hide themselves when these lizard dudes show up. Yeah, just great, like, language, like visual language here. She's hiding. I just love, like, the anxiety on her face. Such great expression. I love that when we zoom in, we get a pupil. But outside of that, we don't need it. And so they seem like they're going off. And she's just relaxing, but then we get this little, I love, like, the blues in here. That's really nice when we get this little loop coming down, this noose lifts them up. And here we get our first look at these lizard guys, and I love, like, their kind of, like, punk look. He's got, like, a backwards cap. He's I don't know. I love the look of this guy. He's awesome. And I also love the changing color for their voices. And yeah, and then in comes Kaya, and she doesn't take much shit, and she has this awesome magic arm, very like, I want to say Jack Kirby inspired, like the design elements, and it also that it like changes when she like powers it up, like it physically changes, it becomes like spikier and bigger. Um, and yeah, just what a great addition. She's got a cool magical arm. I love Fazak right here. Yeah, it's that nice glow effect right there. And just like, look at all these gorgeous colors in this fight scene, and she's punching the shit out of them. And then we get our heroic lizard guy. And I also love that the lizard people aren't a monolith. They aren't all just bad guys and aren't all just good guys. That, you know, we have this guy here who is you know, heroic. He's got this like little tuft of hair at the top of his head. And he's in green. He's wearing blues and golds as opposed to like reds and blacks like the bad guy. So you got to distinguish somehow. Yeah, just great color, and yeah, great fight choreography, and just yeah, really great expressive panels. I love the knife coming out of this panel. Yeah, and then we get a spear thrown from off panel. And here we come, our heroic lizard dude right here. You know, with another good guy lizard there, but they're all part of the same group. And I think that's what's really neat about it, is that, like, you know, their faces look a little different, but they're all part of the same culture, and they're even part of the same clan, or you might say. And yeah, I love the costume design on all of them. I love Seth, our good lizard man. You're a badass man. But then I love the variety in these lizard guys. Like, look at this guy's also like same group, but like just different. And yeah, I love that. It is just it's more exciting to look at, and it's more fun probably as an artist to like just come up with different looks. And yeah, but I love this kind of like punk rock lizard guy. Yeah, and like they're setting up nice alliances, and the fact that this guy is in line to be king, you know, but you know they're just trying to, yeah, and like he knows Kaya from in you know a past occasion, and so yeah, he's willing to stick his neck out for her. Yeah. And he seems to really like her. And also, I love these lizard creatures they're riding. So yeah, it's definitely fantasy, even though there is like mechanical elements, but it's called a magic arm. You know, here we have another like sorcerer lizard guy. He's kind of froggy. I love him. And yeah, and then he's asking about like the person that they mutually knew, her uncle Kova. Yeah, that's all it said about it. Great exchange. I think, yeah, Wes Craig is a really great visual storyteller, and just a great mix of action and character beats, and I love this. You know, we're getting a discussion, you know, of like kind of what's happened so far, but along with that, we get this great little sequence where super hungry Jin is going up to these lizard guys and is actually begging for food, and then but yeah, he kind of like denies it, and again, great colors, really gorgeous colors. And so here he has this decision point. Is he going to hawk her sword or her knife, or is he going to sell the scrolls? And then they decide. And then this guy's basically pitching, hey, why don't you come with us? We're going to be hunting this big monster, basically, that's been terrorizing part of the country, and it'll be on the way, and then you can get some money and, you know, get where you need to go. And it's a point of tension, but It's a decision she's probably going to make because fighting a big monster sounds exciting for a fantasy comic. And yeah, there's just really great body language going on between these two. And yeah, such gorgeous colors. And decent chemistry between the two. Yeah, Jin is interesting. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, of course, the character needs to grow as as we go along. But yeah, he can be kind of a pill and annoying at times. But he's a kid and he's learning, and he does. Even in his first issue, he kind of grows a little bit, and that's what I love in good stories is just very human characters. Whether they change or not, it's not really relevant. It's just be human, be relatable in that way. Yeah. Also love that these lack of hold line here. It's just color. Yep, and it's clear he's got eyes for Kaya, but he's promised to somebody else for alliance's sake. And he's overhearing that, so it's probably going to be a point of tension later. And here we have our lizard dude again, and he decides to make the choice, and so he hawks the list of kings from their culture for a little bit of food. And it's really sad because, he does it, and it's just a big hunk of meat. But then he just uses it to feed the fire. I love this. Love the little zigzag line down there. What an asshole, though. But yeah, there goes their history. Kind of like their village. So there's a great amount of tragedy here. So there's a lot to sympathize with. But still, there's a sense of adventure to it. There's a sense of mystery and what's going to happen. And just love. We get a cool little adventure heading out with some lizard people on lizards. Rock and roll. So yeah, that is pretty. That is that, and I am just I don't know, over the moon about this book. I just think it's gorgeous. I think it's fun. I really like the characters, and lizard men. What a great inclusion, huh? So I highly recommend checking out Kaya. If the art style suits you, which I know that's can be a point of tension, and not everybody, it's like Headlopper. Headlopper is amazing, but if the style doesn't really suit you, if it's too unconventional or kind of simplified or stylized for you, I can understand it being difficult to take it in. But just I really think that Kaya is it's a great book. It's great color work, great figure work, and the story is just it's instantly engaging, and the characters are instantly like you want to see how things go for them. And come on, look at these punk rock lizard dudes. What more is there to say? So pick up the first volume of Kaya, and if you dig that, go for the second one. That's that should be available at this point. And if you like stories of cool characters going on adventures and lizard men and such, give a shot to my book Side Questers. It is it's a fantasy adventure. It's got danger, it's got humor, it's got intrigue, and it's got a lizard man, So that's all you need. The this is all you can get. So check it out. And if you like that, there's also the Haxan anthologies I have, which are stories about like magic users and such in the same world. And I'm very, I don't know, I really enjoy making these. They're very dark, and some of them even have these characters in it. You can read all of these on Global Comics, or you can go to my website and you can buy your own copy of Sidequesters Volume 1, as well as Haxan Volumes 1 and 2. And if you want something that's a little more like superheroes and stuff, I highly recommend my book 3-Panel Origin, which is kind of like a comedy series where I create a character and tell their origin in 3 panels. It's kind of the same tone as like The Tick, kind of silly and a little bit of embarrassing and a little bit weird. And this is collecting the first 3 years in a physical form. But the new comics come out every Thursday on Instagram. And also there's a book of short stories in the same universe that have these characters, and it's silly and weird and full of, my sense of humor. But anyway, for the fantasy lover in your life, and for you, if you haven't checked out Kaya, absolutely do it. It's one of the best fantasy comics on stands right now.